Oh, most definitely.
You know, what you're going to do, who goes upstairs, who goes downstairs, who gets the gun, who calls the police. You know, that you have a plan rather than saying on the spur of the moment while the guy's coming through the door.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to improvise.
You call the police, you get the gun. Oh, where is Robbie? Oh, he's upstairs, and you know.
Yeah, you target him what is beyond if you don't know where the.
Some code word you yell that everybody knows. Do this, boom, you know, and it's taken care of.
Exactly.
The really scary part of this whole situation. This is Oklahoma City. It is a urban area.
Mm-hmm.
She called 911 when the guy first began trying breaking into the house. And she was still on the phone when the officers arrived and chased down the second guy.
That's a long time.
Yeah, they clocked it out to 21 minutes. The dispatch call is 21 minutes long.
Sheesh.
At the end of which says, oh, the police are here. And the dispatch says, okay, you can put the phone down and talk to the officers.
Again, being her own first
21 minutes?
Yeah. Well, I'll just say that 3-month-old's good that he's really lucky he's got a mom who can step up and handle it and take care of it.
Yeah, going through what she's gone through, I'm just, anyway. Back to the commercials. We do offer free concealed carry permit classes that address some of these issues. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, thegunstorelasvegas.com. This is Pensacola Police Department. Oh, yeah, this is kind of cool, too. This is Pensacola, Florida on the 6th, a couple days ago. We're taping this on the 9th. According to press release from the Pensacola Police Department, a robbery suspect, age 24, entered a convenience store on West Cervantes Street at 2:25 a.m. He was wearing camouflage clothing, a camouflage hat, and a bandana over his face. I didn't say that clearly through the radio because I was laughing. He walks in wearing a camouflage outfit, including a hat, and a bandana over his face. The clerk told the suspect to remove the bandana, but he refused. Maybe it's really cold in Pensacola, Florida at 2:25 a.m. I don't know. Yeah. So the suspect came around behind the counter, pulled out a pistol, managed to take cash from the drawer and 10 cartons of cigarettes. Before he fled the business, the cashier, age 20, pulled his own pistol and shot the guy. He ran still. The suspect was later seen by an area police officer and appeared to be bleeding from the neck. The suspect fled that officer despite being ordered to stop. Officers then set up a perimeter and canine tracked the guy and found him hiding in some bushes. He was taken to the hospital for treatment for a gunshot wound, which entered and exited his neck. The suspect is charged with armed robbery, grand theft, public order crimes, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Talk about that in a minute. And resisting arrest without violence. I guess when the dog found him, he didn't try to fight with the dog, which is probably a good idea.
Very smart. Nowadays,
then the reports say they didn't get the gun, but the reports state that he told the police the firearm he used, which apparently was later recovered, was a fake, which the victim assumed to be real. No charges have been filed against the cashier or will be filed against the cashier. This could be a comedy show. The guy walks in, bandana and all, and the clerk says, "Remove your mask." Instead of bang. You know, I'm trying to visualize this. But it turns out it was a fake gun. And the point of me including this is the question is not whether it's a fake gun. The question is whether the clerk reasonably believed he was in danger of death or great bodily harm.
Yeah, it's generally always a subjective test. I mean, you have to look at it from the perspective of the person and what they knew and understood at the time, whether it's right or wrong. And most of the jury instructions on self-defense say that even if you're mistaken, if it was a reasonable belief, then it's valid.
Yeah, we've had a couple of news people here where we've had robberies here with fake guns, you know, trying to show that on the air, showing a BB gun or a fake movie prop gun versus a real gun. And there's no way, especially in this, it's 2:25 in the morning and a guy comes through the door with a mask on his face.
Right.
You're not going to spend 15 minutes looking at the gun to decide is this real or not.
Right.
You're going to have to react to it. So this is a good shooting in every aspect of it. And if you do a robbery with a fake gun where it's a convenience store in Florida, where the odds of the clerk having a real gun are about 100%,
Oh yeah.
you are as dumb as a rock. And it's interesting because of the fake gun, he is charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon because he was using it as a robbery tool. And the reason I underlined on the outline, Andy, was for you. These are only the charges. Would that go here, that you could charge him with possession of a firearm by a felon when
It's not a
he's
firearm.
pretending it's a firearm?
No, I don't think so. No, that wouldn't work. If it was a BB gun or something that was capable of producing some sort of a projectile, then possibly, because a BB gun is considered a weapon,
Yeah,
a firearm, but not a toy gun.
The background of that is the Florida Fish and Game Department declares BB guns to be firearms
Yes.
under their rules,
Mhm.
because if you go hunting bunny rabbits and things with them, you're hunting without a license because it's a firearm
Right.
under their rules. And 20 years ago in some court case, that was a robbery case like this, they referred to the Fish and Game statute as meaning that's a firearm for purposes of Florida state law. And it is, but it's really so unrelated to this case. This is why you have lawyers. I did a case some years ago with a guy doing a robbery of a bank, and I was called in right at the end. He'd already admitted he did the robbery and all that sort of thing. And the firearm he had was a little cheap blank gun that they made at the time, that when you pull the trigger, the little acorn blanks go in vertical and they throw the flash out the top of the gun, a little pop. They're kind of loud, but nothing comes out the front of the gun. And he pointed that at the teller, and she gave him the money, and he was caught and so forth. And he's charged with bank robbery, and he was a felon. They didn't charge him with felon possession of a firearm. They charged him with the use of a deadly weapon during commission of a crime. And that was the defense attorney's argument, is that blank gun pointed at the clerk that makes the little flash straight up, even if it made the little flash straight out, was the clerk in danger of bodily harm from that? And my opinion was he wasn't actually in danger of bodily harm, although he certainly thought he was. And that was the end of the case. As everybody approached the bench, and because the guy had already pled guilty to the robbery. This was the sentencing phase.
Right.
When they're doubling his sentence now. So that seemed unfair because he really wasn't. It wasn't a deadly weapon. I don't like defending bad guys, but this guy just defended because he's a bad guy who's really stupid.
The definition in Nevada of deadly weapon is not firearm, deadly weapon is very, very, very broad. Anything could be a deadly weapon. I could see about 10 things on this table in front of us that potentially
Sure,
could be
a
classified.
tire iron certainly is. So we're running out of
Coffee cup.
We're running out of time. We got a lot of stuff yet in the outline because we started late. I apologize to our radio listeners for that. I want to do my little speech that I want to do at the end of every show now about terrorism, despite the opinion of our government that terrorists are not dangerous and all that bull. If you're caught in a terrorist attack, first try to run. If you can't run, hide. If you can't hide, fight. Don't let the guy kill you or kill other people. A mob of unarmed citizens attacking the guy will take him down. If you got a permit, carry your gun. It's much better to have it and not need it than the other way around. And we're talking going back into the Constitution, owning a firearm and having training how to use it is a patriotic duty in the United States. We got people going around shooting American citizens. Go back and read the Constitution. You are the militia. The people
Yes.
carry your gun. We've got a couple things coming up. There's a lot of stuff I want to get to tonight. That's okay. We are, where am I at here? Western Trails Gun and Knife Show. It's this weekend, February 13th and 14th at Texas Station. The gun store is not displaying there, but it's a good show. I found out it's on the way south end of the casino when it opens. Don't park on the north end. You got to walk like 7 miles to get to the gun show. March 5 and 6, Cashman Field. Rocky Mountain still looking for a venue, and we've got the Friends of the NRA dinner coming up on the 27th of February. We will be back next week with defense attorney Bill Gamage and firearms instructor Lenny Davis. Thank you for listening on KSHP 1400 radio and for watching on YouTube if you were able to do that. You can send your question comments to bob@firedupmail.com, and please do friend us on Facebook if you get opportunity. We appreciate the support. And I think that I still got radio time. I'm looking at about a minute. So,
Yeah. Well, music's not playing yet. So.
okay, I believe we're off. And if we're not,
It's not playing yet. Yeah, you're still on.
we're still on the radio.
All right. So we can talk
Okay.
about maybe
I
one
don't
more
think we
story
ever
about-
made it onto YouTube though, so.
Washington, D.C. has a new law to discourage people from becoming repeat offenders. It's a crime stopping program. It pays people to not commit crimes. They get people, and if they've committed crimes, they give them a stipend every week for not committing crimes. And if they get arrested for committing a crime, then they lose the money. So the theory is they're paying people that are criminals to not commit, just minor criminals, to not commit criminal acts.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Excuse me?
It's absolutely ridiculous. You know,
Where do I sign up? I'll gladly take their money.
Well, I was sending them a note saying, I promise not to come to Florida
Right.
and rob a bank
I
or
won't.
DC and rob a bank if you send me, give me $100 a week.
Yeah.
It's not that they have to be people who are repeat offenders, misdemeanors. It's the repeat misdemeanors. But they think that that stops them from committing crimes because they're on the payroll to be an official, not a crime committing citizen.
yeah, well, you know, successful
Sorry, that's the
people,
stupidest thing I-
successful people are grateful for what they have. Unsuccessful people feel entitled to have what they don't have. And so people need to get up off their duff and, you know, work harder, work smarter, and don't be criminals because crime doesn't pay. Well, maybe except for in Washington.
Thanks for listening, you all. We'll be up with a video next week. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good
Thank you,
evening.
Bob. Yay.
That's crazy.